Hey everybody, it's Dr. Barron, and I wanted to welcome you to week 3 of COMM 5000. Now, this is the start of our second unit in the course, which is an in-depth look at quantitative research methods. And if you have been following along with the readings on the syllabus, you are probably in the midst of reading chapters 4 and 5 in our textbook, and I'm sure a lot of you are struggling through this content because it is incredibly dense. And I'm also well aware that many of you are probably not interested in doing a lot of the hardcore social science research that these chapters entails. And so just based on past history with this course, I would guess that some of you are struggling to get through this information and having a hard time trying to make sense of what this information is, how it relates to what you do and what you might want to do. And let me just start this week by saying that is perfectly okay. I realize that a lot of you are probably not interested in doing this kind of research. I realize a lot of you probably are interested in doing other different kinds of things. But I also know that it's really important for you to learn about quantitative research as part of learning research methods. And part of that is because not only is this a course that will equip you to do research going forward, but it's also a course that will help you equip you to learn how you might use research going forward as well. I am not a quantitative researcher. I think I've made that pretty clear as these videos have progressed and over the course of the semester, my interactions with you all. But I still use quantitative research in the work I do. If I'm looking at a digital media text, I'm looking at some digital media movement, I still use quantitative research to help guide the things that I say as a rhetorician. And so it's important that you learn about quantitative research methods, even if you are never going to use them as a researcher yourself. So let me just start this week by saying that all I want you to do for this unit, and really any unit in this course, is to do your best. If this is stuff that is complicated and doesn't make sense to you, just keep working through it. Just keep reading, just keep trying, just keep talking to your peers, just keep interacting with me. This will get easier. This will start to make more sense. And one of the things that I would like to suggest to you all that as you progress through this particular unit is that these initial chapters, chapter 4 and 5 of our textbook, present a lot of dense information that may not make a lot of sense right now. But as you learn more and more about quantitative research methods, and as you learn more and more quantitative methods, this will start to make more and more sense. And so one of my suggestions to you is that as you work through this unit, that you occasionally come back to chapters 4 and 5 and just track what you learn about a given research method back onto what this method or this chapter presents you about all quantitative research methods. Part of why this is complex, and it's complex for lots of people, is that you don't have a lot of history with doing quantitative research. Or most of you probably don't have a lot of history with doing quantitative research. And so in many cases, this information is like a foreign language. As you become more and more conversant in quantitative research, some of this language will start to make more and more sense to you as you progress. Again, if this has been a rough week in terms of readings, if you're still confused about what some of these things mean, if you don't know the difference between reliability and validity, that's okay. We're all here to work through that together. And part of the discussions that I've posted for this week are an attempt to get you to think about how you might make sense of that. I've given you and your peers chances to talk to each other about these things. I will be around in the discussions this week to help weigh in. And we have our first 3 discussion leaders also to help us all wade through this very dense information. So again, just to reiterate, I'm not expecting you to master this stuff on your first pass. This class is not going to give you mastery of any particular research method. This is a broad overview of lots of different kinds of research methods. And so for many of you, if this is your first blush at doing quantitative research, welcome to the wide world of doing quantitative research. And just try your best to get through it, to make sense of it. And if you are still confused, that is okay. We will all get through this information together. A little quick logistical update on the course. I am still grading. I will work on grading your week 2 discussion participation later on today and into tomorrow morning. And I'm also working on grading your researcher identity statements that you turned in on Saturday of this past week. So those will get back to you relatively shortly. And I'll give you some feedback, and this will all be stuff that you can use to help formulate both yourself as a researcher and your final research project. Again, if you are struggling with week 3, I've said this now, this is the third time I've said this. If you are struggling with week 3, that is okay. It will only get better, it'll only make more sense. And as things progress, keep relying on me, keep relying on your peers, and we will all learn this very complicated material together. If you have any questions, please contact me. Otherwise, I will see you when I see you online.